Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I know it's late for some of you that are early risers, but we have some information that we're very excited about. At least I'm super excited about it. And I was introduced to this almost 5 years ago. My very good friend, she's also an equine vet, Dr. Julia Simonson, called me out of the blue. I hadn't talked to her in a long time, and she was wanting me to watch an ABC report because she thought I would be interested for my dog training business. And unbeknownst to her, my husband had just been diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome. It was very sudden onset. It's almost like instant MS. And it was just like a really, really severe blow, emotionally, financially, physically, taxing, everything. Because I literally became caregiver 24/7 in a matter of 48 hours. And when he was at the hospital, all they said is go home and rehab. It'll be 2 years before he can go to work or walk again. And I was like, no, there has to be a mistake. It can't be true. But it was true. And I have a 4-year degree in biology. So when I watched that ABC report that Julia wanted me to watch, which this is your homework. If you have not watched this, let me see if I can move this down here. So the website is www.lifebiohack.com. And that is the original ABC report that I watched. And this is something that was filmed in 2005. And basically what happened was that there was a report, there was a scientist at the University of Colorado that put out a statement saying that he could reduce the damage created by free radicals by 40% in 30 days. And everybody thought that was a lie because nobody had been able to do that. And ABC News sends the reporter to pretty much debunk the whole thing. So what you will see in the video is that story, how he goes and they pull his blood. And actually, Dr. McCord's statement was that he in every person, so this is also incredible, 100%, not 50%, 80%, 70%, 100% of the humans that they had tested had exactly the same result, 40% reduction in 30 days, which is really amazing. Well, the reporter, John Quiñones, goes back 2 weeks later, and his had gone down 45%. So the company, thanks to that report aired one night, and thanks to that is that we probably know about this product today, because that was something that was developed in the lab, and I don't think it would have seen the light of day if it were not for that visit of John Quiñones, that program. The company got $5 million in orders, which they couldn't fulfill because the company was this little lab, a bunch of scientists. They didn't know about marketing. They had nobody answering the phone. So they fulfilled orders. And then after a few months, they decided to start selling it in GNC and Rite Aid and just regular pharmacy outlets. But the issue is that what this product can do inside our bodies is not something that you can put in a label, because this is a paradigm shift. And I'm going to explain about that a little bit. So basically only the people that saw the video were the ones that were going to GNC to buy it. So a couple of good things happened. That there was also some scientists that were studying oxidative stress, and they called Dr. McCord and said, well, we know how important oxidative stress is. We're studying it in relation to cancer, diabetes, heart disease, this, that, all the things that are affected by oxidative stress. And they started independent studies. So kind of archived that thought a little bit. So there were all these scientists that called the doctor. The lab gave them the product for them to test. So that was back in 2005. So in 2009, the company was about to go bankrupt because the product wasn't selling. So they decided to pull it off the shelf and hire direct distributors that would take the time to understand the information, share the information, explain what this product really is. So that's what happened. It got pulled off the shelf. And then since 2009, the product is only available through independent distributors, and it gets shipped directly from the company. So let's talk a little bit. When I watched this video, I knew what free radicals were, and that what we were told is that if you eat very healthy and you have a diet loaded with antioxidant, blueberries, broccoli, kale, spinach, all the colored fruits and veggies, then you'll be able to reduce some of that free radical damage. Now, the problem with free radicals is that they affect every single organ system in your body. So somebody give me a thumbs up if you can see my, if you're able to see my screen all right. So free radicals affect every single organ system in your body. Your heart, the skin, the kidneys, the joints, the lungs, the brain. If you come on, if you can, on the lower part, there's a little microphone. If you can mute yourself so that we don't hear, then if there's noise in the background, it's not distracting. So when it affects any of these systems, you will disease. So oxidative stress, free radical damage, which is now the term oxidative stress. If you get it in your eyes, you can suffer from macular degeneration or retinal degeneration or cataracts. If you have it in your blood vessels, you can get atherosclerosis or hypertension. If you get it in your immune system, it's all the autoimmune disorders like lupus and MS, cancer is included. If you get it in your brain, it's Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. So needless to say, I don't think anybody wants to get none of these. So what Dr. McCord, his discovery was that, and it took him 40 years, they knew that there was this protein called NRF1 that had the ability to turn on the body's own antioxidant defenses and detoxifying defenses. And why is that important? Because when you eat right, if you eat tons of blueberries and all the things that we know that we should eat, so in this example, oranges, blueberries, red wine is good for you because of an ingredient in the grapes. Then one antioxidant enzyme from a blueberry will eliminate one free radical, but in that process they're both destroyed. But when it's your body that is doing that, one of your enzymes is capable of eliminating 1 million free radicals per second. So if you think of this in terms of, let's say that you have a house on fire, well, the 1-to-1 approach is the equivalent of you throwing a Dixie cup of water into the fire versus the activating approach, activating your NRF2 pathway is like if you have a fire hose in each room, quenching out all those free radicals or all that fire that's causing disease. So this is, if you see my little cursor here, normally when we age, that oxidative stress starts increasing. Okay, so this is age 20, 40, 60, 80, and this is the increase in oxidative stress. Now that happens because as we age, our bodies are not as capable of making, think of it as like taking out the garbage. So the free radical damage is the garbage that accumulates from normal living, breathing, eating, all of that creates free radicals because we're oxidizing. It's like when you leave an avocado out that it turns brown, or an apple, it turns brown. That's oxidizing. When things come in contact with oxygen, they oxidize. And so when you, as you age, this progression, the difference between what the body can handle with its own enzymes and the amount that you're producing, that difference from here to here, that is what's oxidative stress. So as we age, we can't avoid it. It's just going to get higher, higher, higher. So in his experiments, what he discovered was that when people took one of his Protandim tablets, which is just a mix of 5 natural herbs, bacopa, ashwagandha, milk thistle, green tea, and turmeric, that special way that he combined it created a synergy. And that synergy made it that after 120 days, they could not distinguish the blood of a 20-year-old person from the blood of an 80-year-old person. So what essentially happens is that, excuse me, let me go back a minute. So when they tried to have that NRF2 activation with the herbs individually, you see them here, ashwagandha, bacopa, green tea. See, they have very little activation, some even negative. See, like green tea and curcumin. And when with his special mix, it was 18 times more powerful. Okay, so that for that discovery, he was able to patent the product. And it turns out that protandim is the most potent inducer of that NRF2 activity. You can see it here. And this is from the letter D. This is from sulforaphane, which is the active NRF2 activation in broccoli. And these other two, B and C, are drugs, which have negative side effects. So we don't want to go there, or at least I don't want to go there. So this was a very significant discovery. Let me go a minute here. Okay. Mute. Okay, I think everybody's muted now. Okay, sorry about that. It's just I got distracted. So what I don't know if this information is starting to click in and make sense, is that our bodies are a million times more powerful in its ability to combat those free radicals that will create damage and disease than by us trying to ingest all these good food. You still have to eat good food and exercise and all that, but it's just not enough, because we make 130 septillion free radicals per day. That's 130 followed by 27 zeros. And that's just through normal breathing, eating, and stepping out in the sun. So if you're exposed to toxic chemicals, like when they spray the grass, or when you pump gas and you smell those fumes, or when there's contamination in the food and in the air and in the water, those are added toxins that are creating even more free radical damage in your body. So I truly believe that this increase that we have, where everybody is sick, everybody knows someone that has Alzheimer's, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, MS, it's just almost like rampant. It's like an epidemic. Overweight, autism, ADHD, all those things. Because I am a true believer in holistic therapies, and I've read and learned so much about this, I truly think that is our toxic environment, that our bodies cannot handle it. So when I saw this information, my jaw literally dropped. And after I watched that ABC report, I said, if this does half of what it does, I want it for everyone in my family. And in fact, since that time, everyone in my family, including the dogs, have been on it. So that is, let's say, the beginning of our story. The other thing that I wanted to share with you was, you don't have to believe me, because remember what I told you about the scientists watching, and going back to Dr. McCord, and let me see, I can't find my little tab here. Here it is. So there's a website called PubMed.gov, which is the National Institute of Health online library. So it's not owned by the company. It is a government site. And you can go there, PubMed.gov, and type oxidative stress. And what you'll see is, so far, there's 189,000 studies on oxidative stress. What does this mean? This is really a website for medical professionals and doctors. What this means is that it is a huge deal. Otherwise, why would they be 189,000 studies? So if you're interested in any particular disease, so let's say you say, oh, you know, my husband has diabetes. Would this help with diabetes? So you type oxidative stress first, and then whatever disease. And then if there's lots of studies, so when I type oxidative stress diabetes, I get 17,000 studies. So there just means there's a link. Otherwise, why would there be so many institutions and research papers be done on this? So now I switched it to cancer, for example. And now there's 21, almost 22,000 studies linking oxidative stress with cancer. So my question to you is, like, if whatever disease you're researching seems to be related to oxidative stress, do you think reducing your oxidative stress is a good thing? It's not going to hurt, right? And it could probably help. So if we now type Protandim, which is the flagship product of this company, that's the one that they showcased in the video. Now you can see that there's 23 studies on Protandim. This is incredible. This never happens. I challenge you to get any supplement that you're taking and put it in that search bar name, and you'd be really, really lucky if you get maybe one study. Now, I'm not talking about individual ingredients, so you're not going to write coenzyme Q10 or fish oil. That's different. Those are the individual ingredients. You have to type the supplement by name. So there's 23 studies on athletic performance, chemoprevention in the skin. This is a heart study that was published at the American Heart Association journal called Circulation. This one is on MS. This one is, so we're not saying that this product cures anything. It's just that there's a relationship between oxidative stress and these diseases, and all these universities have tested the product and have come to the conclusion that it does what it does, and it's actually affecting all these things that they're researching in a positive manner. So that is incredibly important. If you want to share this information with your doctor, that's where you need to take them to that PubMed.gov site so that they know that it's real science and they can read the studies by themselves, because most of the studies for lay people, they're really hard to understand. So what I wanted to do now, and Jackie, you might have to, which is your, oh, here, I found you, Linkus. Okay, so I'm gonna mute Dr. Jackie Linkus. And Jackie is an equine veterinarian, and she'll tell us a little bit about her, but I want to congratulate her because she just finished her acupuncture degree at the Chi Institute in Reddick, and I have volunteered my dog several times to be kind of like the demo dogs where they can practice, and I have no idea how they can remember all these points and what they're for, because I have been there and I go like, oh my God, my head would explode. So that is quite a remarkable accomplishment, Jackie. So congratulations on that. And I invited Jackie because now there's another product called NRF1. And I have listened to Dr. Mark Hyman with the series, The Broken Brain. And then there's another one, The Truth About Cancer, with Ty Bollinger. And I've listened to hours upon hours of information. And every single doctor talks about the mitochondria. And I, like I said before, I'm a biologist, so I kind of know what the mitochondria are and what they did. But I had no clue how much they can affect our health. So this company, LifeVantage, is at the forefront of what we call nutrigenomics. This is a new science of how nutrition affects your gene expression. So you see with 5 herbs, we're affecting biochemically how the DNA works, so that it's basically instructing the DNA to start making all these detoxing and antioxidant enzymes. So they have discovered a pathway. There's another pathway called NRF1, and that controls how your mitochondria multiply. And mitochondria are kind of like little curious little organs that they have their own DNA. So all these toxic chemicals that can affect your DNA are affecting your mitochondria. And the mitochondria are the ones that make the energy in your cells. So another theory of aging is, and we all kind of experience it as we get older, we have older parents, we go like, oh, they're tired, they don't want to go out, they don't feel like doing anything. And it's another theory of aging that as we age, our energy levels are lower because our mitochondria are not functioning properly. So Jackie is here to explain us a little bit about this NRF1 product that LifeVantage has and tell us a little bit more about why it's so important to maintain our health. So Jackie, take it away.
Well, the thing that the company, can you hear me?
Yes, good.
The thing that I love about the company is they've got their finger on the anti-aging pulse. And I think once everybody really figures that out, they're going to be coming our way in droves, because like you just said, Lillian, the thing that happens is that we stop making mitochondria in normal numbers. So as we age, just like we stop being able to battle oxidative stress as we age, that's the whole cellular aging process. So mitochondria, just quickly, are organelles in our cells, and an organelle is like a miniature organ. So it's like an organ would be to our body. And so it needs to be functioning correctly in the proper numbers in order for the cell to survive, okay? And so it's got a lot of different roles. Some of the roles of the mitochondria are to produce cellular energy, which is ATP. We've talked about that. And ATP is adenosine triphosphate, and it's basically the food for the mitochondria, for the cell, for every chemical reaction that goes on in our bodies. And I was doing a little bit of research, and I actually read you need ATP not only to make a chemical bond in the cell, but also to break it down. So it's not just a passive process. You have to have ATP molecules for the whole entire system to work. And so if you are running out of ATP because your mitochondrial numbers are dropping, you're not going to feel well. Your cellular health is going to be poor. And mitochondria, they also maintain glutathione levels. They protect our DNA, and they are also in charge of cell reproduction and cell death. And they maintain the electrochemical integrity of the cell. So this is all very important stuff. The NRF1 that we have it stands for nuclear respiratory factor 1, and it upregulates the number of healthy mitochondria that we're able to make in our cells. So it uses nutrients to harness the energy of the young mitochondria. And then for order for us to be active and energetic, we have to have power. So the power comes from having the appropriate numbers of mitochondria producing ATP in our cells. So it doesn't take a lot of thought to kind of understand how very important that is. And we just stop having that power to make everything appropriately as we get older and older. So by taking the NRF1 that LifeVantage makes, we don't even have to think about that. It's just a no-brainer. As we get older, we know we're taking this supplement, so we don't have to worry about slowing down and running out of energy, because we're doing that by taking this through nutrigenomics, which is pretty clever. So if you're taking this, you can expect to boost the production of your mitochondria for improved performance, enhanced cellular health, obviously increased cellular ATP, and then your mitochondrial production and their ability to network with each other are enhanced. So, I mean, as far as all of these things and giving them to our animals, I mean, why wouldn't we, right? I mean, they age very, very quickly, and if we can slow that down, I mean, I know I wouldn't think too much about that. Keep them with us as long as we can possibly muster.
And one thing that you mentioned which was, it sounds negative when we say cellular death, but I was reading about that's one of the mechanisms that gets kind of like, forgive the technical term, screwed up when you have cancer, is that the cell keeps on reproducing like crazy, and that's what creates tumors and things like that, because it's not doing the normal cycle. So the cells have a normal cycle where they're born and they die. So if they never die when they're supposed to, then that can create a whole host of issues, including cancer, which is something that I did not know. That is so important that this is controlled.
Unchecked cellular growth. It sounds a little...
yes, but when we say cell death, you think like, well, I don't want to die, right? So that's why I researched that a little bit more. Yeah, so the other thing that I was reading on, I don't know if you know a little bit about this, was that when people take a lot of medication, apparently that's one of the things that gets most affected is your mitochondria. They're very, very sensitive to all the pharmaceutical, the chemicals, and that creates a whole host of issues, right?
Well, I read recently that there's it depends on the cell, but there, like for instance, there are no mitochondria in the red blood cell, but there's 2,000 mitochondria in a liver cell. So if you think about that and what the liver has to do to process these medicines, you know, of course, they're going to be damaged by that. It's everybody, you know, all hands on deck when we're taking some of these medications. And that's what they're there for, is so that the liver can perform its function on a cellular level. It's, you know, the battery of the cell. And so it just makes sense that that's what get torn down first or very quickly anyway.
So from the point of view of working your body optimally, can you do like a little review on why you want to use, you know, both, how they complement the NRF2 and the NRF1? Because it has really nothing to do with this is first and this is second. It's just that's the name of the pathway that they control. So how could you explain this as simple as possible, why you want to use both products together?
Well, they don't really have anything to do with each other from the sense that if you think about what the mitochondria does, I mean, they've brought it down to the NRF1 is working inside the cell on one specific part for the most part. So then you're first asking for a decrease in oxidative stress with your NRF2. So please, free radicals, stop damaging all these cells quite so much so that we can do the cell as a whole can do its job. Then the NRF1 goes inside the cell and upregulates the mitochondrial numbers and functions. I mean, the two things are almost apples and oranges. You've got one very important part of the cell that is functioning optimally, and then you're also asking the body to be able to battle all this naturally occurring free radical damage that is going to ding the cell and start to tear it down. So one works inside the cell, one works to protect the cell as a whole. So there's really no reason why you wouldn't take both.
Okay. And then the other thing that's important to clarify is you can take NRF2 without NRF1, but you should not take NRF1 with NRF2. And the reason being is that all this energy that the mitochondria, so the mitochondria is basically like the breathing part of your cell. It creates the energy. So it's going to create more oxidation. So you want to have that NRF2 to combat the excess free radicals that are being produced by now all this higher number of good working mitochondria. So that's why you either take both of them or you take the NRF2, but you can't take the one without the two. So, well, thank you, Jackie. I truly think that we don't treat our mitochondria how we should. I had one more little slide that I had to show you here that I found that I really liked. It's this one here. It says, this is a book, and it says Mitochondria, the Future of Medicine, the Key to Understanding Disease, Chronic Illness, Aging, and Life Itself. I was like, wow, that's incredible. So, and here it's a little bit what Jackie told us, the role of the mitochondria. So to end this presentation, I hope you're excited about this information just as much as we are, and please get back to the person who invited you to this, get all your questions answered. If you need to consult with your doctor, we can get you to that PubMed.gov site. We can give you some of the studies so that you can talk to them. But we are, in essence, we are looking for more people to help us share this information. And if you're interested in that part of the business, also get back to the person that share this information. I will tell you that when this was introduced to me, when my husband just got sick, I wanted another job, like I wanted a hole in my head. Like that was really not my intention, but it has been the silver lining behind Miguel's disease. I have met the most incredible people in this company, people that want to help other people, that are passionate about healthy living, about they all love their animals. We're passionate about our animals, which is a link that we share in common. And for myself, we came to the United States 17 years ago. And I have worked very hard, and I have been able through this company to pretty much what would be my social security. I have almost replaced in 5 years what would be my social security if I decided to retire today. So what has taken me 17 years through traditional business with my dog training, I have been able to, to create that same amount with 5 years with this company. I have learned a lot. It has been an incredible journey of being able to help other people, help animals, see lives turn around. And we have an incredible company with the best of the best of the best in the form of the CEO. We are attracting like incredible talent that is coming over from other companies. When they see what LifeVantage has, what Jackie mentioned, that we're at the forefront of nutrigenomics, we are a step ahead. When I watched that, Dr. Mark Hyman's That Broken Brain, it was 8 episodes. And in a nutshell, what all these doctors are recommending, that the basis of your health to be able to combat this assault that we are constantly under because of how toxic our environment has become. It was antioxidant, it was probiotic, it was take care of your mitochondria, and it was fish oil. And our company has something called a vitality stack, which is exactly all those 4 things. And of course, these doctors are given, you would have to take like 40 things for what they're recommending for that will do the same job as our 4 products, because we're doing it in a different way. We're activating the body. So this is a new era, just like 20 years ago, nobody had one of these, and now everybody has one. And we had the little rotary phones. Well, our NRF2, NRF1 activation and the other products that this company has are like having a cell phone, and all the other products are like having a rotary phone. That is how big that gap is. And in 5 to 10 years, because things are now changing dramatically, we will take on over that industry. So we are positioned, if you're interested in the business side of it, or if you know someone that might be interested in the business side of this is something that we call it our side hustle, right? That's the new economy term. It's like our side hustle. We all have our jobs. We all have other things that we do. We do this on the side, and we are gradually building a legacy. I'm building it for my grandson, and we have a lot of fun doing it, helping people and helping animals. So I just wanted to bring that up because that's another aspect that, because I love the science, I usually get carried away talking about the products. But do know that there's an incredible business opportunity, and the people that capitalize on it now, it's almost like if Steve Jobs had called you when he was doing his computer in his garage and said, hey, do you want to invest $1,000 in Apple? Well, now that would be millions right now. And this is pretty much where this company is now, because you can, there's probably less than 80,000 distributors worldwide. And we started in the United States, and we're in 11 countries, soon to open 7 or 10 more, something like that. So this is a train that is not stopping, and everybody is very passionate about sharing this information with others. So I want to leave it here because I don't want to get cut off, because my Zoom is only valid for 45 minutes. So I want to thank everyone. I hope that this information was useful, and get your questions answered. and get involved. Either become a customer and use these life-changing products, or if you want to join us in our business, we're looking for people that want to help other people. So thank you very much. Thank you, Jackie. I know it was stressful that you came straight from work, but we appreciate it. Good night, everyone.
Thank
you very much. Bye.